I found out my wife had an affair with my brother and cut ties with me. Years later, they pleaded with me to take care of their son while she recovered from a car accident. I am a 34-year-old man named Ethan, divorced for 3 years. My ex-wife, Emma, also 34, had an affair with my brother Ryan, who is now 30. This betrayal led to the end of our marriage. Emma and I met at a party through mutual friends when we were 23 and began dating soon after. Our relationship was like a fairy tale at the beginning. We were both fresh out of college, full of dreams and ambitions. We enjoyed long walks in the park, late-night movie marathons, and spontaneous road trips. Our love felt invincible. After dating for 4 years, I proposed to her during a romantic getaway to the mountains, and we got married in a beautiful ceremony surrounded by family and friends. For the first few years, everything was great, and we were happy. We bought a cozy house in a quiet neighborhood in Houston, where we planned to start a family. Emma worked as a marketing executive, and I was climbing the ranks in a software company. Our future seemed bright and full of promise. But things began to change when Emma started a new job, which required her to work longer hours. Around the same time, Ryan moved to our town, seeking a fresh start after some personal troubles. Initially, I was thrilled to have Ryan nearby. Growing up, we had been close, and I was excited to rekindle our brotherly bond. Ryan and Emma hit it off immediately, and I was happy to see them getting along. They shared a love for music and often went to concerts together. However, as time went on, I noticed they were spending more time together, even when I wasn't around. I shrugged off my concerns, thinking I was being paranoid, but the nagging feeling in my gut wouldn't go away. I confronted Emma one evening after dinner, asking if there was something more between her and Ryan. She laughed it off and assured me they were just friends. I wanted to believe her, so I pushed my doubts aside and focused on my work. Little did I know, my world was about to come crashing down. One fateful afternoon, I came home early from work, planning to surprise Emma with a romantic dinner. As I entered the house, I heard laughter coming from the living room. I walked in to find Emma and Ryan in an intimate embrace. The shock and betrayal hit me like a ton of bricks. I stood there, unable to move, as Ryan looked up and met my gaze. Instead of showing remorse, he had the audacity to tell me to mind my own business and that Emma was happier with him. Emma didn't say a word, her silence piercing through me more than any words could. I was devastated and furious. I felt like my whole life had been a lie. The woman I loved, the brother I trusted, had both betrayed me in the worst possible way. I couldn't stay in that house a moment longer. I packed a bag and left, not knowing where I was going or what I would do next. I filed for divorce the next day, and it was finalized within a year. I cut off all contact with both of them, trying to piece my life back together. 3 years later, I had managed to rebuild my life to some extent. I had moved into a new apartment and thrown myself into my work. Friends and colleagues helped me through the tough times, and I started to find some semblance of peace. Then, out of the blue, I received a call from Ryan. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. Ryan's voice was different, softer, almost desperate. He told me that Emma had been in a car accident and was in the hospital. They needed someone to take care of their son, Max, while Emma recovered. Ryan begged me to help, saying they had no one else to turn to. I was torn. On one hand, I was still hurt and angry. On the other hand, Max was innocent in all of this, and I couldn't let him suffer because of their mistakes. I had never met Max, but he was my nephew, and I felt a sense of responsibility towards him. I agreed to take care of Max temporarily, though it was one of the hardest decisions I had ever made. When I picked him up, Ryan tried to apologize, but I couldn't bring myself to forgive him. Max was a sweet, shy 6-year-old with Emma's eyes and Ryan's mischievous smile. He was understandably scared and confused, and I did my best to make him feel safe and loved. We spent our days playing games, reading stories, and going to the park. Over time, I grew attached to him. Max had a way of bringing light into the darkest corners of my heart. Emma eventually recovered, and Max went back to live with them. They were grateful, but our relationship remained strained. Emma wrote me a long letter, apologizing for everything and thanking me for taking care of Max. Ryan tried to reach out several times, but I couldn't find it in myself to rebuild that bridge. The pain of their betrayal was still too raw. In the end, I realized that while I could never forget the betrayal, I could still find it in my heart to do the right thing for an innocent child. Max's presence in my life, though brief, helped me heal in ways I never expected. He reminded me of the importance of family, forgiveness, and love. Though our paths diverged again, I hoped that one day I could fully forgive Emma and Ryan, not for their sake, but for mine. Until then, I focused on moving forward, cherishing the good memories, and building a future where I could find happiness and peace once more. What would you have done if you were on this situation?